Okay guys, so we are now on a bus station, and this bus station is located in a very interesting place because this is one of the possible locations of Golgotha. I don't know if you can see it here, but there is a rock scarp over there, and there's like two eye sockets, like you can see like a skull that's resembling Golgotha, which means can be translated as a skull, the mountain of a skull. So actually up there is the famous Garden Tomb, which I visited in one of my videos, and you were able to see it from inside. Now we are from the other side, but unfortunately here is a bus station, so it loses a little bit its you know, atmosphere, but I mean, it's still a place that people travel to different parts of Jerusalem and even Israel. So as it was in the ancient days, the Romans crucified people next to roads so that people traveling and coming to Jerusalem would be able to see what happens to those that rebel against the Romans. And we are very close to the Damascus Gate, but today we're gonna go on Mount of Olives. So we will be visiting a very important place. Now we are basically waiting for our bus. The bus number is 275. That's the bus that will take us to Mount of Olives. So just chilling here, and some people are very active as I record. They want to perhaps be on the movie, but anyways, for now I'm switching off and I'll see you soon. Hey guys, so we are sitting now in the bus. As you can see, we are getting ready to leave. We bought the tickets. See, they cost 5.50 shekels. So if you want to go by this bus, you can buy a ticket. It's number 275, and you can go to Mount of Olives. I'm doing this first of all because it's very warm today, and it would be very difficult to walk up the Mount of Olives today. And the other reason is that we want to actually get out next to the Augusta Victoria hospital, and we're gonna visit that place and perhaps go on a tower that's located in this location. So now we're just waiting, so I'll just switch off and then come back when we're gonna finally go. Okay, so we're moving. So we are on a bus station in the very close to the gate, the Damascus Gate. So it's kind of like a little bit hidden, this bus station, but you can find it quite easily. It's next to the Golden Hotel, Golden Walls Hotel, I think. So see, the people are coming here and then they're driving to different parts of Jerusalem. This is mostly an Arab section of Jerusalem, as you can see. And here we go.
مدرسة الراشدية سلطان سليمان. الركاب الأعزاء، تماشيا مع تعليمات وزارة النقل والمواصلات، نعلمكم بأنه سيتم إيقاف بيع التذاكر نقدا عند السائقين قريبا. احرص عزيزي الراكب على إصدار وتفعيل بطاقة الركب قريبا. نحرص عزيزي الراكب على إفضال وتفعيل بطاقة الركب خلال كل رحلة. شكرا لتعاونكم.
So I changed the spot so that you can see better here. So this is basically where Mount of Olives begins. We're now climbing up the Mount of Olives.
الجامعة المفتوحة طريق أثور.
So it's actually a nice way that you can travel when you buy a ticket on a bus. It's convenient that it takes you up to the mountain because it's quite a rough climb.
مفرق الطور رابع العدوية. مفرق الطور
Football field
رابع
here
العدوية.
on the other side.
مستشفى المطلع أوغوستا فيكتوريا تنزيل.
So this is our stop actually.
مستشفى المطلع أوغوستا فيكتوريا تنزيل.
Okay, so this is where we wanted to come, Augusta Victoria. Hello, I want to go on the tower. Okay, thank you. So this is the territory of the hospital. It's like a German heritage in Jerusalem because it was created by Germany, and mostly it's a hospital that treats Muslim people. So it's a service they provide for the population of Arab Muslim people. So it's quite nice here, as you can see. The architecture, as you can see, is very German, very solid, you know, as they like to build. And we're gonna go up this tower. So that'll be a nice view over there. This is actually the first time I'm going there, so for me it's exciting. I wonder what you can see from there. So thanks for joining. You can have coffee here. And there is a nice olive garden over there. We'll go there too. So
أنا قلت افسر لا ما أظنش تيجي اليوم.
So here, let's see the cafe. It's this way. Hello. Can we go up the tower?
Yeah, just like
So we bought a ticket, and now we're gonna go. So here is like a chapel. You can see inside. Left. Okay, so this is the way to the tower actually. So I wasn't listening to him because he said left and left. And that was true. Okay. So let's go. It's we just made it because they close at 1 o'clock and it's 12:30 now, so oh, a nice sewing machine here. Singer, you know this company, it's very famous. Tu jeszcze może you can still. We are downstairs. There is some kind of museum here, and oh, there's an elevator. I wonder if it works. No, it doesn't work. Of course, it doesn't work. A pity. But it's a nice exercise for me. And you can see how high it goes. So we still have a way more to go. So I'll see you as we get there. Hey guys, so we made it. This is the top. You can see there's a bell over here. So this is the top of the tower with two giant bells. Actually 3 giant bells. So, and this is basically the view from the tower. Unfortunately, as I told you, the view today is a little bit cloudy. But you can see in the distance the Dome of the Rock. You can see the Muslim section of Jerusalem over here on Mount of Olives. So, and the tower you can see from distance now. This is the Ascension Chapel. So, a place where tradition holds that Jesus ascended to heaven from there. So, and below you can see there is a olive garden over here. So, not only the visibility is not as good, but also there is like a net here. So, you know, it's a little bit difficult to record, but basically what you see now, or you don't see, behind this cloud over there is the Dead Sea. So I have a good video of this area that I will put on after I finish here on the tower, so that you will be able to see it, and you will be able to see, because I went in the past over there, where behind this hospital, and that day the visibility was awesome. So, and you can actually see the Dead Sea. So I will post a video where you will be able to see it. Over there, what you can see, the tower is the Hebrew University. So this is what sometimes is called Mount Scopus, but it actually is the same mountain. So it's Mount of Olives. And what you can see here, you know, there is like a separation. There is a desert on the right, and on the left you have trees and life, basically the city starts. So on one side you have desert, desolate place, and on the other one you have trees and life. And this is what Mount of Olives is. It's like a separation point between death and life. And it's very important symbolically also, because if we remember the prophecies, here the Messiah will come and a massive resurrection will happen, and people will rise from the dead. So if we remember this, this is a beautiful picture of what is to happen. And from this direction you can see a little bit more of Western Jerusalem over there, the high buildings, and this is the West Jerusalem. So we are now in the east of Jerusalem. You can see the gardens of olive trees. So this is quite nice to see. Okay, so unfortunately the view is not that great, but it's maybe something interesting for you. You can see for yourself this place. When there's a better visibility, you can see from one side the Dead Sea, and from the other side you can see the Dome of the Rock. So pretty cool that you can see it here. Okay, so now we're gonna go down. The elevator doesn't work, so see you downstairs. Okay guys, so we're back online. Here is the entrance to this tower once again, so it's where we were. So this is basically the territory of this German hospital. There's some nice trees over there. I want to show you olive trees, like an olive tree garden. So you see a huge tall minaret sticking out here, because we are like in the center of the Muslim Jerusalem, Arab Jerusalem. So this is the olive trees that I was talking about, growing on the olive mountain, Mount of Olives. So quick view, and again view on the Augusta Victoria in the back. So what we're gonna do now is go to a traditional place where all the tourists go to see a view from the Mount of Olives on the Temple Mount. So I'm gonna walk there, and then I'm gonna show you at the end a really interesting place as we go down the Mount of Olives, because we're gonna go to some places you probably did not know existed in Jerusalem. It's quite interesting. I hope we'll be able to get there today. So let's go. Oh, somebody's sleeping. It's a nice rest. It's one way to rest. Yeah, like normal people don't usually walk when it's that warm. It's just me, or crazy enough to go to the Mount of Olives on a day like this. Walk. Here you have this German eagle. See, and again, this is where I walked with you today. I had a coffee at the coffee place, and the guy was laughing that I went on the tower. Said that it's very tiring to go up there. So it's like a park over here. People can rest, wait for the turn for the doctor. This is the exit over here. See once again where we entered. So we're gonna go now this direction. We could take a bus again that would take us to Mount of Olives. We are on Mount of Olives, but the bus could take us to the viewpoint. But I think we can walk. You can see a little bit of the atmosphere of the Mount of Olives daily life, you know, because this is most people just come here to see this viewpoint, perhaps go down the Mount of Olives through a traditional route, and that's it. But there's actually like a village here. People live here, go to work here, so this is where we're gonna go, over there. There's also this Ascension, Church of Ascension, that you can visit, but unfortunately I was there once and you need a special permission from the Pope, from the priest, the Orthodox priest. So he will not, you can't just, you know, pay like here a ticket and go up. You actually need some special permissions. So it probably would be possible, but it would require talking and explaining. So this is the football field we passed. Another bus station over here. So this is the road we went up by the bus over here. Over here. Oh, red light. Can't go. So, see a shop. Guy over here. Off the cross, right? So, see, it's very difficult to drive here. I was here with a car. And I don't recommend it, you know. Look at this, it's so tight over here that cars are just very close to each other, and somebody is panicking, not a very good driver, and used to very wide roads. This is not a place for you to go, believe me, because it's basically, you know, things like this happen when nothing's moving, everybody's blocked. So we have green light now for the cars. I don't know why the red light is so long. But we could have passed actually, because in Israel, you know, when it's possible, when everything stands, it's not moving, then you can kind of pass that's what people do. They just pass the road. You see, like this guy, we can go. just, oh, it's red, green light, so we didn't break the law. Actually, it's like you know, it's a gray area, you know. Oh, look at this. Don't come here with a car. This is the ambulance, and you don't have a cross, you have a Star of David on the ambulance, so it's different. So look at this. We move much quicker by foot than by cars here. Okay, everything's there. Even though you see the ambulance is trying to pass and can't because there's no space. Just, it's blocked. Everybody just stands. I mean, you get traffic jam in every country. Here the problem is that, you know, the roads are very narrow and they are not accommodated to hold so many people with cars, and you know, there's a lot of people living on the Mount of Olives, and only hello. So children always react to the camera. Oh, these children have nice uniforms. They want to go to a special school, those kids. So, see a parking over there and a dump of trash. So children are just finishing school now, so we see a lot of them going from school. Hello. Usually people are quite friendly here. I mean, you know, just need to know what to say and what not to say. If you're friendly,
How you doing?
then most people are friendly to you too. So. But of course, you know, if you're coming here for the first time, you don't know your way and you would get lost, maybe it's not a good idea to go here by yourself, especially if you're a woman. That would be problematic in some situations. Look how many children. See? They're all going. Maybe there's a trip or something. Interesting. They have nice uniforms. Hello. Hello. A lot of another hospital over here. Hello. Maybe let's pass the road because there's less people going on this side. So this is the school. This is where the children come out of, an Arab school on the Mount of Olives. So something interesting maybe for you. But this is how it looks. So we'll be turning right soon, and we'll be going to this observation point. The culture here is much different than what you would see in the Western countries. You know, people are very emotional. They let you know instantly what they think. So we're continuing our journey. We came from there, from Victoria Augusta, and now we're going in to the spot of the Mount of Olives. See the sky and the weather is just there. It's not clear today. It's a pity, but what can you do? I mean, you have to accept it. So that's why it's good that I gave you a little bit of a tour of the local situation in on the Mount of Olives. Let's see from the kitchen, as I say, how it looks. So now we will be shortly seeing the tombstones. Cemetery, the famous cemetery, is located here, and the Temple Mount over here. So it's not as bad as I thought, you know, it's still quite good visibility over here. So you can see it. So you have the Golden Gate over there, Dome of the Rock, of course. You have the Al-Aqsa Mosque. Here below you have the Kidron Valley. Then the cemetery, famous cemetery on Mount of Olives, and over there starts the city of David, which is like opposite to where we are now. So this is Western Jerusalem over there, what you see behind. This is the Jewish part of Jerusalem, and here is the Arab population where it lives. So we're now in the eastern part of Jerusalem. And behind over there there's the country of Jordania, so, and a desert and the Dead Sea. So it's quite a nice view still. So we came from there. You see the big flag over here. It's in the center of the Arab population, so it's quite big. This is where we're gonna go later. We're gonna go down there. People that came here to do pictures today. Oh, well, it's not that bad. I mean, you can still see it. It's not as crisp, you know, as sometimes it is, where you can see the really far away. So
1, 2, 3, 4. Sir, anybody want to group picture?
You want to buy this group? It's $10.
Okay.
so people are getting a picture and he's gonna charge them for it. And look what we have here, our friend. Camel. So we have people here just waiting for all the tourists with their souvenirs and just waiting for one group goes, the other comes, and they sell their things. So this is the famous observation point, and it's nice that right now there's nobody really here and we are alone, so that's really good. And to give you some orientation points, you have the gold with the golden I call them onions, the domes, is the Russian Orthodox Church of Mary Magdalene over there. You have the red cupolas. This is the Church of Stephen, a traditional place where Stephen was stoned to death. And then, of course, the Temple Mount over here, and the wall goes over there. We were able to go on the walls. A few days ago, I went on the walls, so we went from over there, somewhere over there. We went all the way there and here up to the Temple Mount. So we just got really close to the Temple Mount. We got out next to the Lion's Gate, which is there. You can't quite see it from this angle, but you have to trust me on that. And this is the southern Temple Mount excavations. So this is the Davidson Archaeological Park over there, where you have the famous stones, famous steps that lead up to the Temple Mount, and they are from the time of the first temple. So this is quite exciting because those may be the steps that Jesus walked. And behind that you have other parts of the excavations where you have stones that were thrown down by the Romans onto the first century street. So you have a lot of mikvahs over there too, remains of that destruction, of course. Herodian stones, which are very big, and the destruction that was done by the Romans. And here you see like this scarp over here. This is the Kidron Valley. So this is the Kidron Valley. The Hinnom Valley is behind us. So this is like at the bottom. The Hinnom Valley starts. This is where we were yesterday. I gave a tour of the Hinnom Valley. If you haven't checked that out, I will leave a link in the description for you to see. It's quite an interesting trip, so I highly recommend it. And what you have over there, I don't know if you quite can see it. I will try to zoom on it. This is where the city of David is. So this is Zion. This is Mount Zion, according to me, because this is where the history of Jewish people, of Israeli people, started with Jerusalem. This is where David built his palace. They found remains of that palace. I also have a video about this. If you're interested, you can see it on my channel. So again, I will leave a link in the description. And it's a famous place also because from there you can enter the Hezekiah tunnel and go down this mountain down to the pool of Siloam. And they're doing some really cool excavations now of the pool of Siloam. They're gonna renovate it. They purchased the land that and they couldn't excavate, so now they're able to excavate, and they're gonna find out probably some amazing things. So I'll try to give you an update on the pool of Siloam. Maybe tomorrow I'll try to go there, and then you will be able to see it. So that's the most important things we can talk about. So Mount Zion over here, so city of David, and then the traditional Mount Zion is over there, where you have the big cupola and the tower. That's where traditionally Mount Zion is, but it's not really Mount Zion. The Crusaders that came, they just were guessing really where Zion is, so they called this hill Mount Zion, and that's how tradition has it. And there is also the traditional burial place of David over there, although again I would say that this is not where David was buried. We read that he was buried in the city of David, so this place over here is most likely where David's tomb is. And there are some very ancient tombs next to the city of David that you can observe. So very nice view on the Mount of Olives, and a famous cemetery. It's a very old cemetery also. It goes way back to the first temple period, so even ancient kings were buried here. Some of the ancient tombs are preserved, but today also is a modern cemetery. People are buried here, and it's very, very expensive to be buried on the Mount of Olives, because everybody wants to be buried here, and it costs a huge amount of money to be buried here. And why do they want to be buried here? Because this is the place where the Messiah will come. And as we read, when he will come, he will touch the Mount of Olives, and it will divide into half, and a river will go through it, and the river will go to the Dead Sea, and the Dead Sea will become alive. So a beautiful, beautiful picture of going from death to life, because the people will also rise, and they will be the first ones to actually see the Messiah, if you think about it, because they will rise here and they will see the Messiah as he touches the Mount of Olives. So that's why everybody wants to be buried here. All the Jewish people that also believe, you know, that the Messiah will come on Mount of Olives. The Christians believe that Jesus will come on Mount of Olives. Okay guys, so we are leaving now in this observation point, and we're gonna go down to another place, and I can tell you what it's gonna be. It's gonna be an ancient cave on the Mount of Olives, the cave of the prophets. So I think not a lot of you have been there, because it's not very well known. So we're walking now downwards. So it's nice to walk down from the Mount of Olives. It's not so nice to walk up, because it's quite a steep mountain, and the elevation is quite rough, you know. It's steep, it's tiring, but walking down is nice, you know. You can enjoy the views. There's quite windy today, so that's really nice. I hope it doesn't interrupt my voice as I record, but we'll see. So see that this is Jewish graves, because they have stones on them, and also Hebrew letters, but the tradition is that you put stones on the graves and not flowers, for example, because flowers die and stones are they don't have to die. So you don't you know, kill something to create a memory of somebody. You put a stone which doesn't have to die to remember somebody, and also you create like a monument, so it's like a living monument. That's why one of the explanation why you put stones on the graves. So if you are in Israel and you want to honor somebody, remember about somebody, you put a stone on his grave. So right over there is a view on the Golden Gate, and below is a cemetery, which is a Muslim cemetery. Not that, so we have a Jewish cemetery here, and over there is a Muslim cemetery, and it was built in Ottoman times, and the story goes that it was built to prevent the Messiah from entering the Golden Gate, and because the Messiah it will be Jewish, you know, he's gonna be of Jewish descent, he will go through the Golden Gate, and because he's Jewish, they think that it will prevent him from coming, because he would become unclean if he would go to a cemetery. So if you go to a cemetery, you are ritually unclean, and you're not supposed to go, for example, to a synagogue that day. So they think it will stop him, but obviously for Messiah this is not a problem, because he can make everything which is unclean clean. So it's not a problem. So again, we're pretty much alone here, because it's dinner time now, 2 o'clock, so people are just having dinner probably, a lot of tourists, and usually the trips in here are done in the morning, and not in the evening. So let's see if this place is open, this cave of the prophets. I'm not sure. We'll see. If it will be open, it will be a bonus for us today. But if it will not be open, well, we'll have to come back again. Another trip. So we can come here by car, but again, it's not recommended. It's very narrow. If both cars come, it's a problem. So here it is, open. You see the sign, the tomb of the prophets. So let's see. This is like a place over here. So the tomb actually goes down there, but I don't know. We'll have to find a person that will open the doors for us. So this is again the view. Let's see. No, it looks closed. Yep. But this is it, and maybe I'll find somebody. Check it. What does it say here? A private. Okay. There's some maybe here. No. My father's street. Hello? 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 Hello, hello? Can we go to the tombs?
Where?
To the tomb.
Ah, the tomb down.
Yes.
Yes. The guy down, not here, down.
Yes, but it's
Yes.
closed. It's closed.
Close, the guy, just another house.
Ah, okay. Thank you. Okay, guys. So we found the person that is working here, and he's gonna open it for us. So, how much is it?
Each shekel each.
Okay. So you see, you have to have a special key to enter this place. And this is the traditional place of the three minor prophets, Malachi, Zechariah, and Haggai. So it's a very, very interesting place. That not a lot of people know that it actually is here. So have to be careful with the steps. So if we're talking about those prophets, we're talking about a time that is from about the 5th century BC, so quite ancient, although they did not find tombs that are that old in here, but it is possible that this place was also reused at some point. So we received a candle, see, and
now this is the drawing of the cave. We come down the steps, we are here. Two circles, the first one contains the tombs, the second circle a corridor to pray. In the cave altogether 50 tombs, the last three prophets, Haggai, Malachi, Zechariah, and their followers. Both Haggai and Malachi buried in the center, in the room opposite you there. The half circle, that side behind you, is the disciples of Haggai and Malachi, and the other half, Zechariah and his disciples. Because Zechariah buried with the disciples, the grave cut square, the disciples cut round. In the grave you see many papers, this is prayers. I leave a little candle there, you can see it. And we are talking about Zechariah the prophet, the Old Testament, not Zechariah the priest, the husband of Elizabeth, or the father of Johannes. Zechariah the priest, grave down in the Kidron Valley. It's 500 before Jesus, or the Second Temple period time. Why these prophets buried on Mount of Olives? It's connected with the prophecy of Zechariah chapter 14, which says the Messiah will come from heavens to Mount of Olives, will be the resurrection to the Temple Mount. That's why they are buried here. That's why the Jews use the old Mount of Olives cemetery, all waiting for the Messiah to come. The whole cave, cut by hand. This is not a natural cave. They start cutting the cave through the hole in the ceiling there. That's the first entrance. They come down, finishing this round circle. Then they need light space. They open the main entrance, and then they continue digging the corridors and the graves. And this means years of work, which means the prophets, the followers, prepare the cemetery for themselves during their lifetime. Here on the wall, you can see very clear the chisel marks, so all chiseled into the rock. Also, the Jewish tradition, when they bury someone or visit the cemetery, they wash their hands after to be cleaned. So there are 4 basins like this one for washing the hands. So you can start from here, make the whole circle, then go into the room of Malachi, then you see the light there, Zechariah, and you come from the other side.
okay.
Please.
Thank you. Oh, so that was nice. And we were able to get a explanation from this gentleman. And the candle is struggling to produce light. Fortunately, I have a special light on the GoPro that allows me to see in the dark. So basically, I don't know if you caught what he said. The 3 prophets were buried here, and also their followers
So those are the graves of the followers, disciples, you could say, of the prophets that were also buried here. So now we're gonna go to the main cave in a moment. So those are again the those halls show you the place where they were, where the burial sites were. So quite interesting, right? You could see how people were buried in ancient times. Okay, so this is again the center. This is the steps that we went on, and right here is the main entrance to the cave, the main entrance to the caves of the prophets. So let's see. I've been here once some time ago, and you have two halls here, and you see there are some perhaps letters that people throw in over here, some messages. And the last time I was here, there was actually a priest, an Orthodox priest, that was doing a prayer here. So a ceremony, like a, so this is once again this place, once again the hall. You can see it's quite big. And here is another one. So not a lot of people know about this place. They just pass and they don't realize that you can come here and see all of this. So this is, you can see a candle here, also lit. Some marks here. Some holes. Okay. And this is the, again, you made a circle going from there to the center. So they even have a rack for coats over here, so quite interesting to see. Let's go here, still here. So it's like a maze, you know, you can go. It's interesting how he said that they started creating this cave, that they started from the top and they went down here and progressively got rid of all the dirt and rubble and made space here, and then they started building the tunnels. So and with the water, that was also very interesting, that you have a place for a basin that where the hands were cleaned. Thank you very much.
Welcome.
So, who is owning this place?
Now, the owner is the Russian Orthodox Church.
Yes,
But
because last time I was here, there was an Orthodox priest, and he was praying.
He came temporarily for a week and he left.
Uh-huh.
My family lived here for 85 years.
Wow.
And my grandfather, my father, the caretaker, and we took over from them, you see, yeah. Now we pay the Russian little rent, so we don't say in the future this is our land, you see, but we are authorized to look after the tombs, to show people all these things, and the money we take is our living, family living, that's it. Because it's no control from the church or from the government about this place.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very interesting. I have a YouTube channel.
So can I show this on a YouTube channel? Maybe more people will come and will know this
You
place.
can do what you want, because on the internet, hundreds of films for me.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Even the Israeli TV, I make in channel 24, I make two films.
Excellent.
1 minute nearly.
Wow, excellent.
So
Well, I have a big channel. It's 230,000. So a lot of people. So
Yeah.
I hope it will help even more. But
Thank you very much.
it's a great place, you know. Wonderful.
it is a nice place, really.
To historical and unique, very unique.
And a lot of people used to come here, tell me, we saw you on the internet, but we like the way you talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very important to know good English,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
and you know very good English. So, okay, thank you.
You're
Very
welcome.
much.
Okay, so a nice detour, very nice person. So I highly recommend seeing this place if you're gonna visit the Mount of Olives. You can see the Cave of the Prophets. And now we're gonna go down to the Garden of Getsemane. On the way, we will visit a church. Over here you can already see it. And it's a traditional church where it is a tradition that Jesus wept. Actually, this is the name in Latin of this church. It means Jesus wept, and Jesus wept. So that's the name of the church. And there are some also burial artifacts on the territory of this church that are quite interesting to see. So you can see where we're going. This is the Mount of Olives again. There's some Jewish people praying. You know, in Jewish tradition, it's very important to remember your ancestors. And it's not actually a prayer to the dead or for the dead. It's like a memorial prayer that we pray and thank God for that person. So it's not the same kind of prayer like you have, for example, by Catholic people, where you pray for the dead, for their salvation, for example, so they get out of purgatory, for example. This is a different kind of prayer. It's not praying for salvation. It's more of a thanksgiving prayer to honor those that passed, and it's very, very important to remember those that lived before us in Jewish tradition. So, nice view here. So once again, you can see that this is basically the entrance to the graveyard, and you see there must have been some kind of important prophet, a rabbi buried there. That's why they're gathering and praying. Those This is Orthodox Jewish or Hasidic even, and they pray towards where the temple was. So the original place where the temple was, where God glory, the Shekinah glory, rested, and it's quite a unique view to see that, you know. So great. Gotcha. Okay, so now we're gonna go to this church and Jesus cried. And actually the structure of this church is like tier. So sometimes it's called a tier church because it has the shape of the tier. So Dominus Flevit is the Latin name of this church, and it means "and Jesus cried."
Thank you.
So
Thank you for always taking care.
first we're gonna go actually here because there's some very interesting tombs over here. So today we have like a cemetery episode because we are on the Mount of Olives, and traditionally always people were buried here and still are. And you can see like small boxes that are actually holders for human bones. So what happened is that people were buried first, and there was no tomb, coffin. There was no coffins that people were put in. Basically, in Jewish tradition, you are buried and you are covered with a cloth. So then the body would decay, and after a few years, people would come again, collect the bones without the flesh already, and those parts, those bones would be stored in such boxes, sarcophaguses, and the boxes are the size of the longest bone of the human that was buried. So actually they were not buried, they were just stored in caves, for example, like this. So this is how they did it. Especially in Roman times, this was quite popular. So an interesting exposition here. And again, we can see, you know, beautiful trees that are planted here, the olive trees. And then this is the church over here. You'll be able to see the golden cupolas from here quite well, and you can see, you know, this church is shaped like a tear. So
The Lazarus was his friend.